Hello there folks, my name is Spunks and I saw Venom The Last Dance and it wasn't very good. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm not a fan of these Venom movies. I know they have their fans and some people really enjoy their lunacy and ridiculousness, but I for the life of me cannot stand these movies. I just find no enjoyment out of any of them, but I cannot deny that compared to the other Sony Spider-Man movies, these are the better movies. Yeah, I would rather watch these movies over, Morbius or Madam Web any day of the week. And with this one, I was actually looking forward to this a bit more than the other two, with this being the final film in this Venom sub-trilogy of this franchise, and the trailers actually looked a bit promising. I was willing to give it the benefit of a doubt. And while, yes, I will admit this is the best of the three, I still didn't really have a good time with this movie. I still found it to be really lackluster. Let's start with the positives here. When the movie leans into the campiness, the ridiculousness, and the absurdities of, the premise of Venom on the run from these alien creatures, I think the movie works. There are times where the movie got a chuckle out of me, and I always like the chemistry between Tom Hardy and Venom. I think their banter and chemistry is really solid, and I just love the voice Tom Hardy does for the Venom character. It's just so silly and goofy, and it just makes me smile every time I hear it and seeing the character. The action sequences also vastly improved here. First off, I can actually tell what is going on here. It's not just a bunch of goo monsters going at one another and making it hard to tell who is who and what is happening. They're actually well shot, well put together, and really fun. Again, when they embrace the zaniness of it, they can be ridiculous yet exciting and fun action sequences, and once again, they're really well done, intense, and fun to watch. And as a final movie, I will say they actually did get me to care about movies that I didn't really care beforehand. The climax of the movie features a ridiculous final battle between Venom and the villains of the film, and it delivers on the zaniness and the ridiculousness of it to where it was fun and exciting, but also the sincerity and the emotional beats actually started to click with me, and I actually started to care about the characters and what was going on, and I actually felt the sentimentality between the two leads. They actually delivered on ending this trilogy, and the way it all ends was actually kind of sweet and touching, I will say. Again, I don't like these movies, so the fact that this was able to get me to feel any sort of sympathy for anything going on here is definitely revolutionary in my book. And now on to the bad. There is just way too much stuff going on in this movie. I know for a final film in a trilogy you have to go big and grand and whatnot, but they just threw too much stuff into this one movie. Like, at least one of these plots would have sufficed for one of these movies, but they threw everything and the kitchen sink in here. You got Venom and Eddie on the run for what happened in the last movie. You've got all the military stuff. You have the stuff going on with the detective from the last movie, and you've got this family that Eddie and Venom meet up with, and then you've got all the stuff with the new big bad for this Sony Marvel universe and all, and it just feels there's just way too much going on, and they don't have a clear balance on how to mesh all of these different characters and subplots together to make it feel cohesive. It just feels like we're jumping back and going back and forth from one subplot to the next, and you go like, oh right, you were in this movie, oh wait, this was also happening in this movie, I completely forgot about that. And it kind of feels a bit unfocused at times, as we really don't know who we're supposed to really be focused on, who's the main focus of this movie. Obviously it's Venom and Eddie, but again, there's so many characters and so much going on, the film becomes aimless and a bit unfocused and unclear on what we're really supposed to focus and put our attention on. And I wouldn't be so harsh on the characters if they were likable and entertaining, but they just weren't. I didn't really care for a lot of the side characters here outside of Eddie and Venom. There's this family, like I said, they meet up with, and outside of one cute scene where they sing a little song in the car, I thought that was actually one of the sweeter moments. I don't really think their contributions really impacted the story all that much. They felt more like a Disney Channel original movie subplot, in my opinion. You have all the stuff going on with the military and the scientists, and they weren't really interesting. It does lead to the crazy climax, but I feel like that could have been done to like a whole other batch of interesting characters and made that a bit more special and cool, honestly, as those other characters I found to be really bland and uninteresting. I didn't really buy their importance to the story. Really, they weren't really that interesting to watch. And lastly, I did not find this movie to be all that funny. There were a couple of times, like I said earlier, where it got some chuckles, I will admit, with Eddie and Venom's bickering and the lunacy of the climax for sure, but outside of that, a lot of the jokes felt really forced, awkward, and just very poorly timed. And there were even some points in the movie where it felt like they were gonna do a joke, but they didn't, so it just made the scene even more awkward. It just felt like that was such a good opportunity to put a joke in there, make an actual funny, maybe not a funny joke, but at least a joke, but you attempted to go for it, but you went back on it, so that was very strange. But yeah, a lot of the comedy just fell flat for me. I wasn't laughing a lot throughout this movie. I'll be honest, I even think the last movie beats this movie in the comedy department. That film had some better jokes in my opinion. The jokes here just didn't work for me. So yeah, unfortunately, Venom: The Last Dance is another stinker for me. I will admit it is the best of the three, and certainly the best of this Sony Marvel universe for sure, but the problems still weigh it down for me and prevent it from reaching the heights that I think a lot of people see with these movies. I just can't get over the story problems, the character problems, and the lack of actually funny jokes. I will still recommend it to people who love these movies. I think this is definitely more of the same. I think you're gonna get all the things you liked with the prior installments of these films, and you will even get a very sweet emotional climax that even warmed my cold, dark heart. So if you are a fan of these Venom movies, I'd say go check it out. I think it's offering to you more of the same. You're pretty much going to get what you wanted with this movie for sure. As for everybody else, if you're like me, you don't like these movies all that much, you don't get the appeal, you can probably skip this one and just wait for like the final 20 minutes or so to be uploaded onto the internet. That's pretty much the highlight of the movie for sure. I still don't really care for these Venom movies, but I will admit, as an ending, as a conclusion, they still were able to deliver, honestly. So yeah, that you got that out of me, Venom. Congrats. So those were my thoughts on Venom: The Last Dance. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.
I got that